So what coin should you GPU mine in 2024? Unfortunately, it's not an easy question. There's a couple different strategies you can choose, and we're going to go over those in this video. The two main strategies for mining crypto are mining for profit or mining for yield. And we're going to get into those a little bit later, but in short, mining for profit is you're checking for the most profitable coin every day or every couple days, and then you're switching all your rigs onto the most profitable coin, and then you're going to sell that coin whenever you get a payout. Mining for yield consists of finding a coin that has a low difficulty, meaning not a lot of people are mining it, and that way you get more coin for the same amount of GPU hash rate. Let's get into what coins I'm mining and what strategy I'm using in 2024. So I'm currently mining for profit. Now, a lot of more experienced miners will say that you're going to get a much better bang for your buck if you're mining for yield and then holding those coins. But me, as a small time miner, I'm trying to squeeze every penny I can out of the minimal amount of GPUs I have. I only have 22 in my farm right now. The one thing that I'm doing slightly different is that when I sell my coins, every time I get a payout, I'm not cashing them out to cash. I'm actually selling them and then buying the coins that I do want to accumulate. In a way, I'm kind of mixing between yield and profitability, but I'm just mining the most profitable coins to get the most yield on the coins that I do want. Now, if you ran a huge farm, this would probably be too much to keep track of on a day-to-day basis. But like I said earlier, for me, it's not too bad, and I'm trying to make this whole farm as efficient as possible. Now, if you decide to mine for yield, that's a little bit more of a hands-off strategy. You might only need to check hashrate.no 1 or 2 times a week to check updated yield numbers and difficulties of different coins. And then at that point, when you find one that has a difficulty that's low enough that you would want to mine and accumulate that coin, then you can switch your whole farm onto that coin for maybe a week or 2 weeks at a time before you need to go back and update what you're doing. Mining for yield is definitely a more hands-off, passive approach, and it can still be extremely profitable. All right, so when we're talking about mining for profitability, what I'm currently doing, let's look at hashrate.no and kind of break down how that works. So I've got my 22 GPUs in here, and I'm going to hit calculate with my 11-cent kilowatt hour power. And it's going to pull up all the coins that we can mine in our current profitability. So you can see Nexellia, and that's probably not pronounced right, but that is what I'm mining right now, is the most profitable coin at $10.79 in profit. The next most profitable coin is only $6.32 in profit. So Nexellia is not a coin that I'm trying to hold right now. It's not a coin that I'm trying to accumulate because it's very new, and I've looked at the white paper, and the white paper doesn't even call out the correct algorithm that it is right now. The white paper calls out K heavy hash, but you can see it uses Karlsen hash. So maybe you guys know why that's wrong, and maybe I'm writing it off too easily, but to me, if the white paper has the wrong algorithm, that's not a coin that's going to stick around, or it's not specifically trustworthy. It has seen an insane price appreciation in the last few days. Let's pull that up real quick. Just in the last 24 hours, Nexellia is up 150%. So that is a big part of why this is the most profitable coin right now. And unfortunately, with my strategy, I've been mining this coin for the last 5 days probably. And the downside of my strategy is when I'm selling every time I get a payout, so I'm not capitalizing on this huge price increase. Granted, each time I do sell, it's slightly higher than the time when I was mining it, but I'm not saving all of those coins that I mined over the last week and selling when it gets real high. I'm selling them as soon as I get them because I fully expect this to tank at some point relatively soon. So back to hashrate.no. What coins am I trying to accumulate right now? I had wrote off AIPG in a past video, and I think I may have done that too soon. Someone in the comments said, hey, take a second look at AIPG. It might not be as bad as you think. And I did. I went through the white paper, and they're promising a lot of things. Who knows if they'll actually be able to do those things. But one thing that did catch my eye is that if you have 1,000 AIPG and future development goes as planned, they're going to eventually introduce nodes, and 1000 AIPG is the minimum amount to be able to run a node. So the way I'm thinking about this is, at a minimum, I might as well accumulate 1000 AIPG over the next few months, so that if things go as planned and they do release nodes, that then I already have the 1000 to start my own node. Because I have a feeling that if the development does go as planned, that the coin is going to be probably 3 or 4x from what it is right now. And that node goes from currently about $250 worth of AIPG to over $1,000 of AIPG to get that node. So I actually am trying to accumulate some AIPG right now. But with my profit strategy, what I'm doing is I'm not mining AIPG, because if you notice, it's all the way down here. Revenue $12.50, profit $3.49. So I'm going to be burning $9 a day in power if I mine AIPG, and that's like $270 a month. That's pretty hefty for the power bill. But if I just mine Nexellia, then I can get about $15 a day in AIPG when I mine Nexellia and then sell it and then buy AIPG. I'm going to lose a little bit in fees, but my power cost is only going to be $5 a day, and that means my power bill is only going to be $150 at the end of the month, which is obviously preferred. The easier way to do this is to use Unmineable, but I have a video coming out soon that kind of breaks down the Unmineable versus swapping coins, and unfortunately Unmineable comes out far behind manually swapping on TradeOgre. I wish it didn't, because I would love to just have that hands-off instant get paid out in the coin you want, but by my calculations, and I only did a day test, but it's still got to be within 10% of the correct numbers, you're looking at almost a 25% decrease in yield of the coins you want if you go the unmineable route versus the trade every single day route. All right, so we discussed mining for profitability. Let's discuss mining for yield. I do this every once in a while, but let me show you how I do it and what I think is currently the best way to find low difficulty coins. If you have a better way, definitely leave it down below, because this is not the most streamlined process, and I would love to find a better way to do this. Okay, so if you're mining for yield, where do you find these difficulty numbers of these coins that you're trying to find? I normally use mining pool stats, and you can see right here, this is just the mining pool stats homepage, and I normally sort by emissions so that you can see which coins are currently paying out the most each day. But the only difficulty chart on this page is this 7-day difficulty change right here. And so that's only showing 7 days, and really when you're mining for yield, you're looking for long-term trends. If you're mining for yield, you want to be looking for coins that are at 6 months lows on their difficulty, so that you're getting more coins per hash than any time in the prior 6 months. So what I'll do is I'll search the coins that I want to check. And so you can see up here I've got Dynex, Raven, CLORE, and this chart over here on the right is the difficulty chart, and it's actually 6 months. So this is more of the timeline that we're trying to look at. So personally, one of the main coins that I've been mining for yield, when I do switch to yield, and I will normally switch to yield when there's not a huge difference between the most profitable coin and everything else. At that point, it's not worth the hassle of swapping coins all the time, so I'll just mine the best yield coin that I'm trying to accumulate. You can see Dynex, it's at 71 difficulty right now, and you can see at the peak within the last 6 months, it was at 301. So right now you're getting 4x the amount of Dynex coins for the same amount of hash rate than you would have back in October. So this is where, if you believe Dynex is going to go up in the future, that you can make a lot of money accumulating a ton of coins while no one else is mining it. And then when that price does go up, you're going to have a ton of profits. Let's take a look at some of these other charts, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I think of them. Raven coin really hasn't done too much. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Raven coin. It was around back when I was mining Ethereum. And looking at the long-term price chart, it's been pretty flat, doing nothing. And I want to say maybe I heard it was a relatively dead project. Maybe that's not the case, but let me know your guys' thoughts on Raven. It's not something I'm considering accumulating or mining right now. But CLORE, You can see CLORE, if you were mining in some of these lower difficulty times, you would have gotten a lot more coin than what you're making right now. So 5 all the way up to 45. So you're making basically 9x less coins now than you were back in August. So you can see how big of a difference that difficulty number makes. Neurai, it's about the same as what it's been over the past 6 months. So that technically is close to a 6-month low. So that's maybe not a terrible coin to look at to get into for yield. Neoxa, it's at about a 6-month low. That would not be a terrible coin to mine for yield either. Alephium, something funky is going on with this chart, but Alephium, as you know, has gone way up in price. So the difficulty is going to be way higher than it used to be. But my second favorite coin to mine for yield right now is Radiant. And that's for a couple reasons. One, we're basically at the lowest hash rate it's been in 6 months. And 2 is FPGAs and ASICs will likely eventually come onto Radiant, and I'm trying to accumulate a decent bag before that happens. The last thing I'll note is I'm paying extra attention to Kawpow coins with low difficulty right now, because I don't want to mine these during the summer when my GPUs are going to be in ambient temperatures of 90 or 100 degrees in my garage this summer. So I'm trying to accumulate as much Kawpow coins as I can while it's cool out and while I can get decent temps on my GPUs. So that's about it. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.